And we are back, folks. Another edition of the Michigan Football Film Study focused on the defense with our man Vance Bedford. Before we get started, as I always say, when it comes to the film study, the footage that we use in these film studies is not owned by us. Therefore, we do it just for you, the people. It's for your entertainment, your education, and your edification. That is so we can stay legal, so we don't get on the wrong side of the copyright owners, and we continue to do it for you. But here's the thing: you can support us in other ways. You can be sure to like this video. You can be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way, every time we do a new broadcast, you'll get a notification. Of course, where it all goes down is over on the MichiganInsider.com on the 24/7 Sports Network. That's where you can find all of our videos, our podcasts, definitely all of our team coverage, football, basketball, and recruiting. And with recruiting heating up, steam rolling towards some decisions, now is the time to get in. And oh, by the way, it's the month of November, and you're steam rolling towards the clash with Ohio State. So now is the time to get in. $1 gets you in your first month. After your first month, you'll also get access to Paramount Plus when you become a full paying subscriber. With that, welcome in the man himself, fresh off his bison barbecue last week, talking about my man Vance Bedford. Vance, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Go blue out there. I told you it was going to be a win. I thought it was going to be a blowout early, but we had field goals in the second quarter instead of touchdowns. Otherwise, it was 28-7 at halftime, game over. They could have gotten their green buses and gone back to Sparty land.
Yeah, man. You know, their offense, you knew they couldn't run the football coming in this game. They hadn't shown they didn't have Kenneth Walker anymore to save the day. Because Kenneth Walker, I asked you this last week. I said, was the line better, or did he just make them look better last year? And he said they were better because he made them better.
That's right.
A lot of these same guys back, Vance, and I mean, we saw MAs and busts up front like you wouldn't believe. I was surprised by that. What I wasn't surprised by was how, all right, if we can't do anything else, we just gonna throw it up and let our cat beat your cat, like you say.
Well, but you know what? I thought that was going to happen. And going to the game, what we talked about last week is that don't let the receivers outside. We talked about how the University of Washington's defensive backs aligned outside regardless of split to take away the fades because they were jump ball guys. And we got hit early, I think, in the first quarter, really with a couple of fades. They got their first touchdowns. After that, we went to quarter, half to eliminate those type of throws. But yeah, like I said, I thought it was going to be a blowout. That's how I felt about the game. Yeah, watching a couple of games of Michigan State, I didn't think they had a chance, to be honest.
You know, we obviously get into this in the breakdown, but adjustments, Vance. I mean, you go into the game with a plan. Clearly, they didn't necessarily have the Washington plan, but they made an adjustment that got them right. And when they took away, Vance, when they took away the fade ball, it was like Michigan State couldn't do anything else.
But that's all they were. I don't think they're great route runners. When I watched their scheme, I wasn't overly impressed with the things they were doing. Their best plays came throwing outside the numbers, or they would try to run screens. I mean, offensively, Michigan State has struggled this year. And their whole philosophy is that we want to run the ball, shorten the game. Well, of course, they couldn't run the football. So they just started throwing fades. And that's where they've had some success. If you take the deep ball away, they're not very good offensively. So now they got to win with defense, and they can't do that either.
All right, so let's start off with one of your favorites, fans. Nickel rock. If there's a defense, a call that if they say, what does Vance like? I would say nickel rock. So that's how we're gonna start off, fans, early in this game.
And we talked about this last week too. We talked about moving the front because Michigan State's offensive line, they're big and they're stiff, and we turn guys scot-free. So here we go. Oh, my goodness. Somebody call a doctor. I mean, he checked his heart right there. So here we go right here, nickel rock. And what it is, we're going to move the front, fellas. Okay, here's the block, my fault. They running a counter. You can see to the right side, they blocking back. They pulling the guard and tackle. The tailback going to step to his left and go to his right, and the quarterback's going to pull the ball all the way out. So it's a counter read play, and the quarterback can pull the football if the end closes hard. So it's an option read by the quarterback. And here we come. So we angle in the front. We bring the nickel off the edge. The nickel has a quarterback. The end going in the B gap has a dive. The nose goes through the center to opposite A gap. The 3 technique goes across the tackle to the C gap. And the defensive end standing up, he is primary force, which makes him curl, flat, and pass. And this has been a good stunt for us all year long. It was a good stunt for us last year. Against big, slow offensive linemen, this is a great call. This is a great call. So we're going to meet everybody in the backfield. It's like they went for a picnic. Watch this off the edge. The dive, close to the dive. We got my man, little Mike, in position. This quarterback trying to fake Mike out. Come on now. Mike is so athletic. This quarterback is a good little player, but he's a stiff compared to Mike. Mm-hmm. This is the greatest 2nd and 25. Look at that play. Everything's taken care of. The linebacker scrapes clean. We got 3 guys having a party in the backfield for a tackle for loss on 2nd and 25. Now it's 3rd and go around the world in 3 days, and you have no chance. They're going to run out of gas. I mean, they have no chance here. Great call, great stunt, great execution by the Michigan defense.
Yeah, and you talk about Mike, man. The coverage piece of it, they knew he had. Where would he be as a blitzer? Hey, man, people sometimes when people say blitz, they say you just run at the guy. Hey, man, you got to be disciplined as a blitzer. And we see Mike, not only is he physical, which maybe people kind of don't judge a book by its cover with that, but also very, very disciplined as a blitzer as well. He ain't allowed that quarterback to get outside.
Early in the year, he had a few missed assignments, but each game he's gotten better and better in his zone coverage and his blitzing. He understands what he has to do. He is a quick study. He's the kind of guy like my meeting. You tell him one time, he can go make it happen. So his next play is going to be back a rock. And anytime you have a 3-by-1 formation out wide instead of sending a nickel back, it's like playing basketball, Sam. We're going to say switch. Okay, you go blitz, I stay in coverage. And that's what they're about to do right now. So initially, on paper, the nickel back would have come. But anytime they split them out wide, the backer comes. So here we go right now. Here go the offensive line protection. The tight end in motion, he's blocking the guy off the edge. They pulling the center and the guard around for the backers, and the tackle is blocking down. They call this a pin and pull play. But what it was a pin and miss play because they miss people. We tackle them in the backfield. Again, it's tough to run a pin and pull play, which our offense runs sometimes. When your offensive line, it's like the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz. They need to go see the wizard. That's all I have to say about that. Again, we're going to meet these guys in the backfield. This is a great play.
Pin and miss, fast pin and miss.
It's pin and miss is all I got to say. And you can see on defense, we bring in the back off the edge. The end is going in the B gap. The nose goes through the center. The tackle, he goes to the CB gap. And the defensive end at the top is a curl flat dropper. And you can see that the safety is rolling down. He's a strong curl, which also means he's a C-gap player in this particular play. So we have numbers right here. But again, this has been a good call for us. It's a great 1st and 10 call. Good versus the run, good versus naked and boots. Look at this play. Pin and pull. They block nobody, and we're in great shape. We love it. I mean, great call, great stunt. This is called great game planning. I mean, if you plan against the University of Michigan 1st and 10, and your tendency is to run the football, you're going to get some kind of pressure off the edge. Look at it. There's nowhere to run inside. I mean, look at all the offensive linemen standing around. What are they doing? They're doing that.
Let's. I'm not going to give Michigan State's line credit as much as I want to talk about Michigan's defenders. I remember coaches saying, "Man, don't catch blocks. Don't get it's because the dude coming to block. You don't have to necessarily take on everybody. Don't catch blocks." And these dudes, they made sure. I mean, sometimes you can elude the block as long as you don't lose your gap. These guys were able to slide through these blocks like they weren't even coming for them.
Yeah, but we talked about it though, Sam. We say we move on these guys, they were gonna miss people because they were big, they don't have great lateral quickness. And you can see the previous play we had nickel rock. We had guys unblocked. This time we had back a rock. Guess what we had again? Guys unblocked. Because in space, those big guys, they don't do a great job. They need to have on the line defensive linemen where they can block down and they can hold. If you move on these guys, they're gonna miss a lot of plays. They showed that in this ball game.
Yeah, Michigan State, it was tough. So they feeling all that pressure. Let's go to a non-telestration, Vance. one of the things that stands out to me about this Michigan defense, we saw it at times last year. I'm thinking of the Wisconsin game. Wisconsin tried to screen them because they were getting after it, right? And the screen recognition, that was a game where it really jumped out to me. Watching Mozzie kind of could feel when it's coming, and it's like game in, game out. They are a tough team to screen, Vance, because these dudes, they pay attention.
This play we finna see right now, this is one of their screen plays. They motion the 3x1 and run the high screen back the other way. They can run the screen to the 3x1 side, or the high screen comes back away. So getting in practice, these guys show great recognition of understanding what's about to happen to them. They read this perfectly. It's a no play. If they didn't, a big play could have happened here, but it didn't. Great execution by the D here. It's a motion 3x1. See this? It's a double screen. Look at the recognition. This could have been a touchdown for us. He could have been in the end zone dancing. Look at the back. A great read by the back. But again, you're trying to get those. Look at those offensive linemen trying to get out in space to block.
Yeah, missed opportunity. Michigan State get a touchdown on this drive, I believe. So it's like, man, come on.
Great recognition by the linebacker here, pulling the trigger. But look at all the other Michigan defenders reacting to the play. Mm-hmm. The ball's thrown. Watch the guys. Look at the pursuit. That's how you stop the screen right there. That's a great job by the defensive line coming out playing screen.
So
really good defensive play.
One of the things you said, Vance, is you said you're gonna be talking to your D-line coach, right?
Yeah.
And let's take a minute to talk about Mike Elston and the job, because you lose Aiden Hutchinson, you lose Dave Ajabo. Hey, let's not forget Chris Hinton was a veteran interior guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you lost 3 guys that tried to play that did play a lot of football. 2 guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and call Dave Ajabo a first-round pick. And this D line is playing some really good disciplined football. They making plays so they can get after the quarterback some. They stopping the run. You see how bright they are, how the football IQ is high. He's come in, and Mike Elston's done a hell of a job.
People might have forgotten, but Mike played at Michigan. Then he coached at Michigan with us. I mean, he worked with the outside backers with Jim Herman, and then, of course, he goes on. He's had a great career. So you brought a Michigan man back to Michigan. He understands what Michigan D is all about. He's always been a great teacher as a young coach when he was a GA with us. And now he's a young man who's done a tremendous job in teaching these guys how to play. Because he played linebacker, he can teach these guys how to drop, how to understand things, especially up front, but more importantly, how to play with your hands. For a defensive lineman, the first thing you have to do is put your hands on people. It's like when I was a kid growing up. I didn't want my dad putting his hands on me for being a knucklehead. So, back in the 60s, they put their hands on you. My coaches in high school, they put them hands on you.
In the 80s too, Vance. Hey, it took a while. You had to get to like the mid to late 90s before they said you couldn't go. You couldn't tell a kid to go get a switch no more. They used to tell you to switch, Vance.
So no switch, man. Go get a paddle. Go get that limb. I mean, a switch didn't hurt. Hey, go cut that limb down, then we're gonna talk. So that's what's wrong with our kids today. There's no discipline. There's no recourse. They say, "Well, I'm gonna give you a timeout." If they'd have given me a timeout when I was a kid growing up, I might be in jail. I needed a good, strong hand. I'm not going to lie about it. So I'm not advocating for that. I'm just telling you what I needed. Timeouts didn't work for me because I would burn my house down. I mean, so that's just who I was.
All right, let's get right back to the plays, Coach Bedford, and we'll get back to the telestrations now. As we did nickel rock, we did backer rock. We just got a chance to look at a screen, and so now what we're gonna get into is, did we do this play already?
This is 4th and 1.
Yeah,
this is just great defense right here is what it is. I mean, it's from the defensive line, keeping the offensive line off of the linebackers. I mean, it's I got to be honest. I can't help myself. I mean, I don't work for anybody. It's just a bad football play, okay? Offensively. I'm just got to be honest about that.
What do you think about football play? So
it's 4th and 1.
Yeah.
First of all, it's 4th and 1. Why are you in gun? The next thing is either wedge block, go downhill, or because you wanted to split zone, let the quarterback keep the football. This is just frustrating for me as a coach. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
So what about situationally? So this is 4th and 1 on minus 50. You're on your side of the 50-yard line, right? Now I know you on the road, and they say play to win and whatnot, but you haven't shown the ability to run the football really against anyone decent. So I mean, you're putting pressure on your team right away, and then you come back later in the game
on 4th and goal.
on 4th, and I mean, and you got a chance to kick a field goal and tie the game and kind of carry some momentum, right? And both times you get stuffed. I mean, you can't. I know.
You know what he's saying, though, and I get what he's saying. He said, I'm talking to my offensive lineman. Boys, can we get a yard? I could promise you, offensive line say, Coach, run behind me. And he's on the road. He is an underdog. And with that big physical-looking offensive line that walked out of that tunnel, so we can get a yard. But to me, it's the play call that they call here. I mean, that's part of the problem because Michigan, in short yardage situation, they're going to find a way to bring a guy off the edge. And they're going to move the front. They're going to cover up all the down linemen. So a linebacker's unblocked, which they're unblocked right here, and you can see what happens.
See, so but this gets back to the question I asked you last week in the preview. See, he believed that hype. See, last year he was talking about we gonna body blow these guys. We gonna body blow these guys. Was it really the offensive line that was body blowing Michigan, or was Kenneth Walker making 12 guys or 11 guys miss on his way to I remember him being corralled on one side, reversing field and going upfield. I mean, them dudes wasn't necessarily blocking Michigan all them times. He believed that hype. He believed that they was gonna come in and just knock Michigan off the football. It's like, man, where have you seen?
I just know one thing, Sam. I'm chopping wood. That's all I'm saying. That's when he was on the sideline, right? I mean, they chopping wood. I'm chopping wood. You know what? They must have missed that wood because they had to light a fire. They missed all the wood. I don't know what he was chopping because it didn't work.
It
didn't work. I'm watching the game and say, what is he doing? They chopping wood? Where? I mean, he must have been mad because he had the look on his face. I'm like, why are you mad? Here we go. Short. Let's get back to the telestration. It's short yardage, right? Split zone. You guys see the blocking. Number 9's come all the way across and blocking the edge. 79 and left tackle. He steps inside. He's going to turn off on the end. And right now they blocking man to man. That's the first mistake they made. They should have been doubling guys. Okay. Now this is a zone read play. This quarterback probably should have pulled his football, but he didn't. He gave it, and it didn't work. 4th down and 1. Michigan State with a big offensive line, but now I know didn't let the center climb. The 2 linebackers, they unblocked. They should have wedge blocked this, climb to the backer. They got a chance to make a play. I could hear if Al Borges was talking right now on 4th down and 1, I could see the doctor talking right now. If we just double this guy and climb to the backer, we're on the second level right now. They didn't do that. Nobody climbed. Everybody's covered up. 2 linebackers are free. The nose did a great job. 4th and 1 became 1st and 10 for the Michigan Wolverines. Mm-hmm. Look at this play. Look at the backer run through. The nose got off the ball. That's a great job.
Yeah, he went. I mean, yeah, the backer.
I mean, look what the nose did to the guy, though. He stood him up, asked his name, and then say, why are you even out here playing? Get out of the way. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Hey, that dude has NFL ability. Now, we go back to the Indiana game, Vance, and you say, hey, man, what's up with number 5? He getting stood up. I said, Vance.
He must have heard me talk about how soft he was because that play right there, whoo, he mad. He trying to eat.
All right. Yeah, he tried to eat. He had what you say, he had some hamburgers, Vance.
Man, on that play right there, I'm talking about maple syrup. Boy, he put some pancakes on him right there. That's all I got to tell you right now, straight out of Canada. The real stuff.
All right, let's go. Let's go to another stop, another key stop. We just talked about it.
Another play I don't get. I mean, it's 4th and goal. Get the points. 10-10. Analytics get people fired. Analytics that get you fired. Okay, we go. Right, my bad. Okay, right now, here we go. We want a little counter step. We're trying to double guys right now. But again, I'm going back to Michigan brings guys off the edge, whether they align them bare or not. So we're going to double it down, guys. But guess what they forgot to block? the guy off the edge. Nobody blocked him. He gonna come scot-free. So right now, technically, we're moving to what we call a low defense, and we're getting penetration. They don't block the guy off the edge, so the play cannot get started. 4th and 1, I'm taking the points, making a 10-10 on the road. But the analytics said, because you're on the road, 4th and 1, kick it. We unblocked. Look at that. The linebacker unblocked. Come on, Sam. What we doing?
Like I told you, you believe the hype. Now, so the first time, cut the coach some slack, right? Give him some slack. You came and you on the road. You know what? We think we could push these dudes around, body blows and all that other stuff he was talking last year, right? Okay, cool. You just got stuffed on 4th down earlier in the game. It's close to halftime. They about to get the ball. You know what? We gonna let's take these. At least that's what I'm thinking. They're gonna take these points. They're gonna tie it. So it's kind of seize some momentum from this situation. No, if you Michigan, you're like, oh man, thanks, Mel. Appreciate you, buddy. You just
Sam, what is this, Sam? Sam, what is this? They're all on the sideline. He walking down the sideline. We chopping wood. Yeah, you did chop some wood, all right. You got no points because the analytics chop wood too. That's why they don't get paid to coach. You don't listen to no analytics. We all have statistics as coaches. We all have that. I mean, come on. Woo, somebody help me out.
I hear you. Hey, look, man. It was as much as they got pushed around on the field, and give them some credit. We'll get to the fade ball piece here shortly. That was the one thing they did well. But as much as you talk about the players getting pushed around and forced to quit, man, the coaches got circles coached around them too. This wasn't just on the players in this game.
You're right about that. But if I was playing, I'd have thrown 10 fade balls in that game. I'd have thrown in the red zone at 4th and 1. I'm throwing this number 0. He's 6'4", 215. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing.
It would have made more sense that you know what, Vance? I'm hearing you. You the coach and you the expert. But I don't know that you've ever been an offensive coordinator, but I think that would be a good call. That'd be a better call than the one they made. When have you shown that you could knock people off the ball? You shown you could jump ball people.
I would have put him. I would have went 3-by-1, put him on weak side, and I'm throwing me a jump fade ball. He's 6'4". If you single up, which Michigan's going to do down in the red zone, I might get a PI. Now it's 1st and goal on the 2-yard line. I mean, that's just me.
They need some help, Vance. They call you. You going?
Nah, I'm good. Hey, I'm in my basement right now with a hot light. I got my fireplace on. Just turned it on. Right now, I'm good. I don't need that stress of coaching these knuckleheads today. I mean, it's like that fight in the tunnel. I had to bring that up. I'm not letting it go. That should never happen. Yeah. That's why I don't want to coach.
I hear you.
It's out of control.
All right, Vance. Just all over the backfield.
Man, come on now. Joker back again. I mean, what are we doing? Okay, it's technically it's a 3-4 defense. So they got 3 guys to go block our nose, and they should climb to the linebacker. So what should have happened is that 97 and 79, they should double and he should climb to that linebacker. Okay, the left guard and center, they should double hit that center, climb to the backer, and they should go out and out. Okay, that's just common sense. I mean, my bad. Common sense is not common. They should change that word because that's an oxymoron. It makes no sense because how they missed this block is oxymoron. I'm not going to say the other part to
it. So there are a couple thoughts come to mind. Number one, Mozzie good, but damn, it take 3 of y'all to try to block him. So I mean, either they thought it took 3 of them to block, or somebody didn't get the call right. They
didn't get the call right. It's a zone to their right. So that right guard should have blocked out and out. Yeah. They doubling left, climbing to the backer. The left guard and center, they doubling the nose, climbing to the backer. The right guard should block out. The tackle should block out. They don't even block my man number 94. He's unblocked. 23, the linebacker, there's 25, the linebacker, he's going to run through. We got him highlighted. He unblocked. They're going to meet in the backfield and say hello. Why did you guys show up? This makes no sense. And they went for it twice on 4th down. Can somebody give me a drink? Hey, give me some with some whiskey right now. That's all I got to tell you right now.
So
I mean, come on.
it's funny. So I kind of asked you, and I'll play this again. We were talking in the preview about what they were saying about Michigan State's defense, and they do so much that a lot of times their players just look lost and confused and out of position. And I thought that was just a defensive thing. But hell, Vance, I mean, you got guys whiffing on assignments left and right from it, and that takes nothing away from Michigan play well.
See, if you
But
watch the offensive line, the guy who made a mistake was 74.
mhm.
They are going full zone to their right. If he blocks 70, if 74 blocks 94, this play at worst going to be a 2-yard gain. But instead, he blocks down. So my man 94, the defensive end, like, wait a minute, something wrong with this play. Because the tackle's stepping out, nobody's blocking me. Like, oh, I got a free tackle for loss right now.
These dudes, they really have been stealing money.
Run that back. Watch the left tackle, 79. Watch he missed his block. He fell to his knees. He was thinking about MC Hammer. Oh, yes, we pray. We got to pray just to make it today. Oh, yes, we pray. Watch 79. Watch this. Come on, man. Sam, he MC Hammer singing right now. We got to pray just to make it today. The man fell on his knees trying to block the linebacker running through. Somebody help me out. Watch him fall. Watch this. Oh, my goodness. I told you last week on Wednesday about movement, didn't I? I said that, right?
You did. Man. All right. So, Vance, the one thing that they did in this game, as we talk about, as we've been talking about, and we'll close out the videos with a focus on the fade ball. I say they were stealing money because last year Kenneth Walker covered up a ton. This year, clearly, number 0, and I got to give you credit. When you scouted them, you said number 0 he's their best player. Now, they came into the season saying number 1, the receiver number 1 is their number 1 guy. He missed some time with injury. And I think as he missed some time with injury, 0 really emerged. And I think Keon Coleman, I apologize for saying the young man's name incorrectly, but he's a ball player, Vance, and they put him in position to make some plays. Now we're fast forwarding here to the fourth quarter, and by this point in the game, Michigan has come up with a plan to kind of slow down the fade success that Michigan State was having, because that's all they could do, right? And once Michigan was able to snuff that out, Michigan State couldn't do anything else. And you called this out during the game. This was part of the strategy. So talk people through cover 6.
This is cover 6, and it's quarter, half. And what they're doing is, as you can see, we're running a half field to number 0 to the boundary. So that corner is a cloud technique. His job is to reroute that guy, get him inside. The safety into the boundary, he's a half field guy, so he should open up right now, check number 1, play a half. The next safety to the field, he's playing a quarter technique. He's playing a quarter technique. So a quarter plus a half equals a whole, which equals 1. Mike, the nickel back, is a quarter flat technique. He takes his first thing to the flat. The Mike linebacker, you see number 3, he matches number 3 to that side. And the weak inside linebacker, he's a curl dropper. In other words, he goes straight back on the hash. So this is a way to take away a strong receiver. They've run quarter, half to the field, and they switched it around and run quarter, half to the boundary also. So they've done it both ways based on who the receiver is. And this is a great way of taking a speed off of a good X receiver. Yeah. Let's look at the offensive formation. And we talked about this a little bit last week. This formation here, Sam, is max protect, throw it deep. That's what it is. So technically, you got 2 wings. They block any blitz off the edge. So if you're playing man-to-man 3 deep zone, it's called a jump ball formation and give the quarterback time. But because of the zone drop and decent pass rush, we took away number 0 on the fade. So he throws it to a guy in the flat. My man Turner came up like a bolt of lightning, cut the guy down. Really good play by Turner on this play. Let's let it roll.
So you got a couple of things real quick. You got DJ Turner being physical at the point. He's a flat defender. Be physical and reroute. Now he's, my man got more size than him, but hey, man, it ain't the size of the dog in the fight. Size of the fight. I know people, that's not a great analogy anymore these days, right? I get it, but I'm talking about in terms of spirit. It ain't the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, right? And so you saw that with DJ Turner fighting this dude at the line of scrimmage, and oh, you got a dude over the top. You got a backer right here. It's almost like a boxing one on him, Vance. If we're using the basketball analogy,
It is, because this formation is a max protect formation, so they can't high low the backer inside because of what they're doing here. So this is a chance right now for a man Turner to get after this guy. So he's baiting him, watching. Bam, he got him inside. That takes away the fade right now. And watch Turner come up right now. That's a nice job. That is a really good cloud technique play by him. The first thing he did, he got the outside receiver back inside to the safety, to the linebacker. Then he saw the ball thrown. He reacted back to the guy in the flat, which is where we want the ball to go. Take away the deep throw. Guy leaks out late, check and release play. You take that every time. You take that every time. That's good football there.
And I guess I could have shown the ones that they did well first, but we'll go to these other fades that they had here really quick, and kind of go through them, Van. So first, here it is, 104.
Okay, here we go at the bottom, 1-on-1. So we talked about this last week. Where did we not want these guys to go, especially number 0? Outside. I don't care what you don't let them outside. Right now, you gave him outside, so you're getting a foot race with a 6'4" jump ball guy. This is going to happen to you right now. He didn't give himself a chance. He didn't give himself a chance right here, because now the safety cannot help him out. If you can somehow get him back inside, you got a chance. But I'm going to go back to this. This is as if that game plan wise that Michigan didn't know what number 0 was. I mean, you go into a ball game, you say, who we got to stop? Their best receiver going to this game was number 0. 6'4" jump ball guy. He's hurt other people right now. So that's the one guy I'm not going to let it catch a fade right on me. I'm not going to do it. Now, here we go again. I mean, 1-on-1 to the field. They put formation to the boundary. It's isolation route. He let him outside again where the safety can't help him out. Don't tell me about his split being wide. I don't care about his split. Don't let him down the sideline where he can push off and jump, have a jump ball.
Yeah, ref let him get away with that. I guess they were letting him play because that was.
They let him play. But again, base rule. Base rule, if this ball's on the 4 hash and he's 3 yards outside the numbers, it said you play inside technique as a DB coach, you have a base rule. But now you game plan going to a game. This guy's good on the fade ball. So that base rule is out for this particular game. Anytime 0 is in there, we're going to play outside technique regardless of his split to get him back inside so I can gain some help. I am not going to allow him down the sideline to beat him on the fade ball because that's what he does well.
All right. And so here's another.
This is Turner at the top on number 1. But see, this guy's not 6'4". Look at Turner. See, Turner got him pinned. That's a great job. He widened him. He's on the top of him. That is a good job right now. If I was doing the clinic tape, that's a good clinic right there. See, but again, if that was number 0, I just gave him a minus. Because he's 6'4". This guy's not 6'4". It's a difference. Certain guys you got to play differently, but just teaching the fundamentals of how you play, good mirror technique. He looked up for the ball. He ran him out of bounds. That's a great job by Turner right there. Yes, that is a great job.
Number 1 is used to running by people, but hey, DJ can run, Vance.
Well, we already said Turner might be the fastest guy on the field, and that's great. And this time he did a great job. I was looking at some of the comments on Twitter talking about, well, they always catching fades on our DBs. No, they don't. I mean, if the wind was blowing, people complain right now. If somebody won the lottery and won $1 million, I wish I would have won $2 million. I mean, people ought to get real. I mean, for the most part, we've done a great job all year long. It's just certain times we haven't. But overall, the secondary has played extremely well, in my opinion.
Secondary's played well. The front has played well. Linebackers made some plays in this game, Vance. I mean, they were present and counted for it. That was a position that heading into it, I was wondering if Michigan State was going to try to exploit, and they couldn't. Linebackers held up.
They didn't try, though. They wanted to throw outside. They threw very few balls over the middle. And so we talked about how good the tight ends were last week. They never went to the tight ends. I have no idea what their game plan was. I really don't. I'm baffled. I mean, I'd have been running a zone replay, pulling the football, seeing what happened to us in some other games. Like I said, I'd have thrown 10 fade balls to number 0. I'd have thrown the ball to him 10 times. I'm being honest. Number 1, you just want to be mad. Because number 0, you get 10 deep balls. So don't get tired. Get tired next week. But I'm throwing the ball 10 times deep, and you better catch 8 of them on jump balls, so they're going to let you outside.
So, Vance, you get a chance to watch any of that Ohio State Penn State game?
I watched a little bit of it, and the game got out of hand with the defense scoring on. They scored on defense. The defensive end had about 4 great plays. The game is tight, and all of a sudden, that's what happens when you play Ohio State.
Yeah, but I look at it, man. Their quarterback, Penn State's quarterback, had almost 400 yards passing. I don't. Ohio State was able to turn them over, but I felt like, man, Michigan's defense played Ohio State, or I played Penn State way better than Ohio State's defense did.
They did, but Penn State plays well at home too. Going on the road sometimes it's not the same. It really isn't. At home with their fans and that whiteout and all of that type of stuff, they play really well. And what they did, they got Ohio State behind the sticks early, and they were able to play decent that way. And offensively, they moved the ball quite well, which I was really surprised because Ohio State's been playing decent defense.
Yeah.
But like I said, they had that one quarter where all of a sudden the game is tight. They sacked, fumble for a touchdown, an interception, and the game got out of hand.
Absolutely. Well, Vance, it was a stellar defensive effort. Granted, Michigan State is not very good, but that's what, if you're a championship level unit, you make not very good teams look that way, look even worse, look worse than they've looked all season. And Michigan was able to accomplish that in this game. I think they just flat quit against Minnesota at home. So I guess you give Minnesota some credit, but no, this was their Super Bowl. So they were going to play better against Michigan, and Michigan shut them down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm just chopping some wood. Damn, that's all. I mean, it's the score is not indicative of how bad that game really was. I mean, the game was not really close. If you take away that one fade ball for a touchdown, they don't do anything. Not running the ball, not passing the football. And the difference in the game that kept them close is that we were kicking field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. Otherwise than that, it might be 45-7. Mm-hmm. It could have been that ugly.
Well, folks, that'll do it for another edition of the Michigan Defensive Film Study with Vance Bedford. I want to remind you, as I always offer this disclaimer, we do not own the footage that was used in this film study. As such, we do not get any sponsorship, no monetization at all for these videos. They are strictly for you, the people, your education, your entertainment, and your edification. There are other ways in which you can show love and show support. You can like this video. You can subscribe to the channel. That keeps us going and keeps us growing. You can do even more to show love by going over to the MichiganInsider.com over on the 24/7 Sports Network. That is where it truly goes down. All of our videos, all of our podcasts, all of our written content on football, basketball, and recruiting, which is really heating up as the Wolverines closing in, I think, on some big-time commitments. You want to stay up on that. And, oh, by the way, Michigan, Ohio State likely going to clash undefeated at the end of this month. So you want to gear up for that as well. $1 gets you in your first month over on the MichiganInsider.com and gets you access to every site, every team site, all the intel over on the 24/7 Sports Network. And then once you're in it past the month and you become a full paying member, your membership also gets you access to Paramount Plus. Great bang for your buck. But that'll do it for us again this week. Another edition of the Michigan Defensive Breakdown with our good man, Vance Bedford. We'll see you next week.
Go Blue.